You can rebuild your memory, sharpen your focus, and feel mentally fast again, even after 30, and most people never do it because they keep attacking the wrong problem. Right now, millions of smart, capable adults feel like their brain is running on an old computer, taking longer to load, freezing on simple tasks, forgetting names, losing words mid-sentence, opening a tab and forgetting why they did it in the first place. The scary part is not that this is happening. The scary part is that people start to believe this is just getting older, when in reality, most of this decline is not age, it is lifestyle, environment, and a few silent habits that slowly drain your brain's performance without you noticing. If you've ever felt that your mind is not as sharp as it used to be, that concentrating for long periods feels harder, or that your memory fails you in moments where it shouldn't, this is not because your best years are behind you. It is because your brain is being used in a way it was never designed for. And the good news is that the brain is not a fragile machine that only goes downhill. It is more like a muscle that adapts to how you treat it. Change the inputs, and you can change the output. Here is the uncomfortable truth. After 30, your brain does change. Some chemicals slowly decline. Recovery is not as automatic as it was at 20. Stress hits harder, sleep becomes lighter, and at the same time, your life usually becomes more demanding. More responsibilities, more screens, more noise, more pressure. So you have a brain that needs more care and a lifestyle that gives it less. That combination creates what people call brain fog, slow thinking, and poor focus. But none of that means you're stuck. Think about your brain like a high-performance engine. For years, it worked perfectly, even with bad fuel, little maintenance, and a lot of abuse. Now, it still works, but you start to feel the cost of that neglect. The solution is not to throw the engine away. The solution is to change how you take care of it. Let's start by clearing a big misunderstanding. Most people think memory and focus are skills you either have or you don't. That's wrong. They are states of the brain, and states can be changed. Your memory is not a box where things are stored. It is a process. Your focus is not willpower. It is chemistry and energy management. When those systems are supported, your mind feels clear, fast, and reliable. When they are not, everything feels heavy and slow. One of the biggest reasons people feel mentally tired today is not because they think too much. It is because their brain never truly rests. Sleep is not just rest. Sleep is when your brain cleans itself, organizes memories, and resets your ability to learn. There is a system in your brain that becomes much more active when you sleep. It literally washes out waste products that build up during the day. When you cut your sleep short or your sleep is shallow and broken, that cleaning process does not happen properly. The result is like trying to work in a room that is slowly filling with trash. At first, it's fine. After a while, everything becomes harder. You can feel this in real life. One bad night of sleep and you are slower, more emotional, less focused. Now imagine that happening not for one night, but for years. The problem is that many adults have normalized being tired. They drink coffee to function. They scroll at night instead of sleeping. They go to bed with their brains still full of noise. And then they wonder why their memory feels unreliable. Improving your sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation of cognitive performance. And no supplement, no trick, no nootropic hack can replace it. But sleep alone is not enough. Your brain is an organ that uses a lot of energy. Even though it is only a small part of your body weight, it consumes a huge amount of your daily resources. That means what you eat has a direct impact on how you think. There are certain nutrients that your brain depends on to work well. For example, omega-3 fats are a key part of brain cell membranes. Choline is needed to produce acetylcholine, one of the main chemicals involved in memory and learning. Magnesium plays a role in hundreds of processes, including those related to stress and neural signaling. When your diet is mostly ultra-processed food, sugar, and refined carbs, your brain is not getting what it needs, and it is getting a lot of what it doesn't. This creates inflammation, unstable energy levels, and that heavy, foggy feeling in your head. You've probably experienced this. After a big, heavy, low-quality meal, your body feels tired and your mind feels slow. That is not weakness, that is biology.
On the other hand, when you eat in a way that keeps your blood sugar stable and provides real nutrients, your mind feels more even, more alert, and more reliable. And then there's movement. For many people, exercise is something they do for their body or for their looks, but one of the most powerful effects of movement is what it does to your brain. When you move your body, especially when your heart rate goes up, your brain releases substances that support the growth and survival of neurons. One of the most important of these is called BDNF, which you can think of as fertilizer for your brain. It helps your brain adapt, learn, and stay flexible. People who move regularly don't just have healthier bodies, they tend to have better memory, better mood, and better focus. And this doesn't mean you need to train like an athlete. Even simple, consistent movement, like walking, already makes a difference. The key is not intensity, the key is regularity. Now let's talk about something that is quietly destroying the attention span of an entire generation. Your brain learns what to expect based on what you feed it. If you spend hours every day jumping between apps, notifications, short videos, and messages, your brain adapts to that. It becomes very good at quick changes and very bad at sustained focus. This is not a moral failure, this is training. Imagine trying to read a book while someone taps you on the shoulder every 20 seconds. Over time, your brain will stop trying to go deep because it learns that interruption is always coming. That is exactly what constant digital stimulation does. The result is that when you finally try to focus on something important, your brain feels restless, bored, and uncomfortable, not because you are lazy, but because you trained it to live on novelty. Rebuilding your focus is not about forcing yourself harder, it's about changing what your brain gets used to. Just like you can retrain your body to enjoy healthier food, you can retrain your brain to enjoy deeper work and longer attention. This brings us to a very important idea. Your brain changes based on what you repeatedly do. This is called neuroplasticity. It means your brain is not fixed, it is always being shaped. If most of your mental life is passive consumption, scrolling, watching, and reacting, your brain becomes very good at that and very bad at effortful thinking, remembering, and creating. If you want better memory and focus, you need to give your brain a reason to develop them. That means learning things in an active way, explaining what you learned, writing things down in your own words, challenging yourself to remember instead of always looking things up, reading without constant interruption. These small habits signal to your brain that memory and focus are important again. Now let's talk about stress. A little stress can sharpen you. Too much stress for too long does the opposite. When stress becomes chronic, your body produces chemicals that over time harm the parts of the brain involved in memory and learning. This is why when you are very anxious, you can't think clearly. Your brain is in survival mode. It is not interested in long-term thinking or deep focus. Many adults live in a constant low-level stress state, always thinking about the next problem, always slightly tense, always on. That state feels normal, but it is not healthy for your mind. Learning to calm your nervous system, even a little, has a direct impact on your cognitive performance. This can be as simple as slow breathing, short walks, moments of silence, or any activity that truly lets your brain switch out of fight or flight mode. Now here is the mistake almost everyone makes. They look for a magic solution, a pill, a nootropic, a single trick. But your brain is not a light switch, it is a system. You don't fix a system by changing one tiny part while ignoring everything else. If your sleep is bad, your diet is poor, you never move, you are constantly stressed, and your attention is always fragmented, no supplement in the world will save you. But if you fix the fundamentals, even partially, the change can be dramatic. So let's make this practical. Imagine a simple 7-day reset. You start by protecting your sleep. You go to bed a bit earlier, you reduce screens at night, you treat sleep like an important meeting with your future self. You clean up your food just a little. More real food, more protein, more vegetables, more healthy fats, less sugar and junk. You move every day, even if it's just a walk. You create small blocks of time without distractions. No notifications, no multitasking, just one thing. You practice remembering instead of always checking, and you give yourself a few moments of real calm each day. None of this is extreme, none of this is complicated, but together these signals tell your brain something very important. You are needed, you are valued, it is safe to work at a higher level again. And here is what many people notice when they do this. Their thoughts feel clearer. They stop forgetting simple things. They can read longer without getting restless. They feel more present in conversations. They feel mentally lighter. Not because they became younger, but because they stopped living in a way that constantly drained their brain. Your brain doesn't care how old you are. It cares how you treat it. There are people in their 50s and 60s with sharp, clear minds, and there are people in their 20s who already feel mentally exhausted. The difference is not time. The difference is habit. Think about it like money. If you keep spending more than you earn, eventually you feel poor, no matter how much you make. If you take care of your finances, you can feel rich even with less. Your mental